Go right there. Hey, Chris. What's going on, y'all? So, got some friends coming over. Decided we're gonna do some grilling. Just figured I'd get the burgers started. Burgers and dogs. That's it. We got 14 people watching. What's going on, y'all? Let me see what's happening here. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Oh, I don't know how this thing works. Burger and a dog. Oh yeah, it's raining. It's definitely raining. I'm in the I'm in the garage. Here, hold this mic. So we can.
Costco burgers. No, Food Line. It's Food Line burgers.
Just saying. Two sausage sandwiches and fly over to your house. All right, I see.
Let me get my phone back to watch.
What they say?
Nothing yet.
Costco burgers, Food Line, but they're the fresh ones made with real meat. Well, real monkey meat at least. What is it?
Nothing yet. Oh, I don't think so. Oh, mystery meat.
Mystery. That's right. SC. Mostly mystery meat. All the delicious mystery meat one could want. Yeah, Jeff, man, that was the best part. This is more of a celebration than anything else. We didn't get hit hard, but we know a lot of other reefers in the area were not as fortunate as we were. But yeah, man, I didn't lose power at all. It's raining pretty hard right now. The pond is pretty full up down here by me. A lot of accidents on the road. I'm glad, Food Line is just a block away. What do you think, Chris? Free range monkeys, listen, free range monkeys are very tasty, but you just got to be careful about that Ebola. That's the thing about that. You can't just eat any monkey meat. This is prime grade A monkey meat right here.
As he said, why so much food?
You got friends coming over. You got friends coming over, SC. A couple of neighbors gonna stop by and talk about how much of a lame hurricane this was. Oh, geez. One side.
Oh, we got doused.
Huh?
No.
Yeah, I'll eat that one.
Somebody said adobo.
Huh?
Adobo? With question
Not
mark.
really.
Most of the reef said you got friends. I kid.
Nah, not really. They're refriends. No, I'm joking.
Somebody said that one will be nice and garlicky.
All right, I was gonna take the lid. It looked done to me.
Oh, you gotta clear that. Clear that out. You see him?
Oh yeah. Chris, go wipe this up.
What do you want me to do?
Wipe this up.
That's fine.
Go do it in there. There's the cheese and the bacon.
That's right, TMG. We do have a hurricane. You see the hurricane? That's the rain. And that tree over there will move every once in a while. Cheese is coming up. Sorry, Chris, bring the cheese. I get it. Chris, bring the cheese too. The sliced cheese are like a bunch. Yeah, this is done. What is he doing with that bowl? It's taking forever.
Want me to grab it?
Yeah.
I'll grab it.
Oh. Did he bring the cheese? Waiting on the cheese, boys. You want to put the cheese on after, or you want to put them on there and let them melt?
Put them on after.
He has to bring the cheese sometime this year. The boy's struggling with the cheese. Animal style griller buns in the grease? Huh?
Which one do you want?
Just put some with the American, some with the other stuff. Just pop them on. They're going to take like 2 seconds to melt. Actually, hold this. Point it at the grill. Stand over there. There you go.
Jeff said, did you have a generator or batteries for your backup power?
Okay, so for backup power, I had Big Blue point at the truck, which has a power inverter in it, about 800 watts. So if I ran out of power, or if we lost power, I can run an extension cord from there into the house, let that some bitch idle out there, and we'll have power on the inside, but I didn't need it.
Lisa said, glad you didn't get any damage from Florence.
We got some damage, man. I mean, the couple of houses in the neighborhood had some shingles blow off. I didn't have a chance to fly my drone up above my house yet to see what came off or whatnot, but I didn't see anything littered on the floor, so hopefully it all stuck together.
Someone said you parked like a savage. Just saying.
Yeah, that was 100% intention to put it on there. The savagery is palpable. Alright, when that's done, take them off, put these in there, they're done. Okay. What they say?
Oh, I didn't no more comments after that.
Okay. This is weird. I don't like going live on the phone. You
Yeah.
can't see anything.
I'll probably put it up for my phone. One more person just joined.
They're all gonna melt anyway.
Most of you said, just wondering how you got turned that way in your driveway.
That's some good old savage driving. Oh shit! Man down! Oh, this is gonna taste good. That's gonna be the best tasting one right there.
Oh shoot.
No, they have a tool for this.
Most Cherise said got me all hungry.
Oh, we're pretty hungry too. I don't know how much of this is gonna be left by the time the guests get here. Hurricane barbecue. Come on here.
Thanks, Lisa. She said, come on, people, hit the like button. There's only 7 likes and 1 dislike. And she had an angry emoji. And then Jeff said, saw your vid. You stand, setup, and covers are looking really clean, man. Thumbs up.
Appreciate it, man. I made that video last night and launched it this morning. I'm glad that you guys are liking that. Just trying to make sure that, you know, you guys get to see what's going on. Pretty sure something bad's going to happen eventually that you'll also get to see. I'm just waiting. It's inevitable when you're reefing. This is just a fun stream, guys. I'm not a live streamer. I don't know what I'm doing. I just started it up because I was cooking and I was bored. I'm quite content joining other people's live stream and hanging out.
That was me. The comments show up faster when you're looking like on here than when you're live streaming.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they are. It's probably like 3 hours delayed. I gotta watch Dave's video on how to live stream. Anybody want to come over for a burger and a hot dog? You know, let me know.
Dad, look.
Super Dario. Will it take a while to get there from California? Yeah, Reef Keeper, it would take a hot minute to get here, but it'll be worth it. I mean, I'll keep on one feed just in case. It's an ugly day outside. I mean, look at this. Look at them. It's just been raining and it's, you know, horrible. Horrible. It's like an inch of water in my backyard. I believe I could probably float a kayak in the backyard right now. Bust one of these guys open, see how they're doing. Washington is what? 4 hours away? 5 hours away? Yeah. Oh, is that Washington D.C. or Washington State? Washington State, you're gonna be it's gonna be a pretty long drive. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, people. Let's bust one of these guys up and see how it is.
Lisa said Washington State.
Oh, you are far. You are far, young lady. Hey, Chris, eat this. If it's cooked, let me know. If not, you're young and strong. You'll get over it, right?
You'll just be pooping for days.
I'll go for a little bit. Let it steam a little bit. All right, phone, turn off.
Oh no.
Yeah, Jeff. Actually, you know what? I gotta blame SC Reefer for this grill. I gotta hold that one. That's the one that's on. I have to hold it up closer to me, my face. Yeah, you gotta blame it on SC Reefer. I went over to his house when Rico was down here, and he had a real nice grill, one of these propane grills. And I said, you know what? I like to grill, but I don't always like to use a charcoal. So went ahead and he told me that this guy was on sale. Walmart, I think it was about $250 for it. It comes with everything, all this cool stuff. It's only my third or fourth time using it, but it does the job, especially when you can't light up because of hurricanes. Hey Lisa, Lisa D actually, yeah, for sure. Maybe one day I'll be a cool enough YouTuber to have a Tristan Palooza down here in North Carolina with some LFSs, that everybody can have a reason to come down here and say what's up. I found UV sterilizers help a good deal with dinos. A lot of people reported that when they got dinos that they would start using UV sterilizer, and a lot of it would go away. Might be anecdotal, but I've always run a UV sterilizer in my tank, so I wouldn't know. I never really had a problem with dinos.
Mikey,
Pretty good though.
read out the new comments.
Or questions. If anybody has questions for me. Alright, so that's fine. Another one. So they all cooked through and now they're good to go. Oh yeah, these guys are cooked. They're good to go. Yeah, I believe so. Oh, we didn't have another pan? Hey, it's like
Reef Keeper said something.
There's a deeper one in there, but
I only got the deeper one. Yeah, just bring the pan. Bring the deep pan.
Yeah. Reef Keeper said something.
Unlock it or something.
Look.
Reef Keeper, I have a Jabal UV as well. Works fine for me, man. I think I have a 55 watt is what I got. Does a great job. My tank.
Lisa says something.
Yep. It does work really well. I mean, the key there would be, for me, what I usually do when I set up a new tank, or even when I start seeing some nuisance algae, I like to mix up my sand a bunch, and I try to get all that stuff into the water column, siphon what I can siphon. The majority of the time, to me, that helps it pass through or go over my filter sock and through the UV sterilizer, ultimately leading into it, getting killed or nuked in whatever case. Huh?
Reef Keeper said he has the same one.
Yeah. I mean, I think it should work fine, Reef Keeper. This boy put some gymnastics on here. These dogs are rocks. They're doing some gymnastics out here.
I thought you gonna double up and go, oh.
Oh yeah, good old hurricane. Hurricane is not gonna stop Sunday dinner, boys.
Go ahead.
Alright, let's see what they show.
I didn't say nothing new.
Oh jeez, orientation is still blocked. Gotta love it.
Maybe changing your settings.
So yeah, guys. Just got finished grilling up some Sunday din din for us and a couple of buddies. Turn off this propane. Huh?
Reef Keeper said I've been endlessly
I've been endlessly siphoning, filter sock, filter floss, sand bag, really. Hopefully that won't last long. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I've known dinos to cause people to quit, okay? And depending on how bad it was, and you know how much they were trying to get rid of it, it just wasn't easy for them to get rid of. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you because I'm pretty sure you already did all the research that you need on what to do if you got dinos. Don't do water changes. Reduce your feeding. A lot of people have tried like dosing microbacter, trying no pox. Dr. Tim's Waste Away works really well. Be careful with that stuff if you have a fully stocked tank. It is very potent, and you can cause trouble to your fish and corals if you overdose it. But Dr. Tim's Waste Away does really well for helping a lot of people get rid of dinos. I mean, those are the only ones I would really recommend. I don't think it's never had it bad enough. I think that I would like quit over it. I've known people who have. I think Click Clack has had it pretty bad before, causing him to break down his tank and reset up again to try to get rid of it, only to have it come back. But yeah, I mean, they're options. They're options. They just all take time. Let's see, we're here. Yeah. I mean, I've never tried an ATS myself, and I can understand why after doing that treatment, having to take one of your forms of filtration offline to do it, might have caused you some problems in the long run. Um, but I think part of the things that like I try to do is limit any type of having to take anything offline when I need to treat for something, or if I do, try to make it as easy as possible. Like, I mean, if I had to treat fluconazole or whatever to my tank and it was going to kill my entire refugium, all I have to do is turn off a ball valve, and the refugium will not get any water from the tank. So should be fine until the treatment is done. ATS is an algae terp scrubber. But basically, that's what I try to do. Try to compartmentalize everything. I think is the best way to describe it. And in so doing, make sure I don't have too much problems. If I need to run any kind of medication. Can you turn up your brightness? It's black. Like.
I'm sorry. Phone's at like 60%.
Wasn't anything crazy. Nitrous went up 10 ppm, phos 10. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really look at nitrate or phosphate. To be honest with you, when I measured them, was for that video. I went and I measured to see what they were running at. I subscribe to the Rico School of SPS Growing. Listen to your corals, is what he would say. See how they respond. Don't chase numbers. And that's pretty much what I do. I mean, it's nice to know where I'm at, where everything looks good enough to me, and try to maintain that. At least so I set a baseline for myself. But going into this tank, and I think anybody who's going into a new build, don't chase a number. Just add corals, figure out where everything looks good, and that becomes the numbers for your tank. I don't know. I think we said this a couple of times on the live stream. You take two tanks, you set them up side by side, the same amount of live rock, and put the same corals in it. They're going to do differently. Every tank just likes to operate at some magic level, and that's where they like to be at. They just don't like to move from that. Some tanks like 8.5 alkalinity, some like 7. Point is to find out which one your tank likes and keep it there. And anything you buy, acclimate it to it. Question. My nitrate say I can't say anything, Chris.
Oh, look. Not out here.
That's it. My nitrates stay
Not out
high
here.
with no detectable phosphate. Mostly reefs. I was having that same exact problem. I had no phosphates, nothing visible, nothing I could test for. But nitrates were like 80 parts per million. What I ended up doing there is I started dosing phosphates. I got the Brightwell Neophos. I was dosing about 2 mil a day to keep my phosphates at around 0.3 parts per million. And that was in 180 gallons. So a lot, that Brightwell stuff goes a long way. Don't overdose it. But yeah, I was dosing 2 mils a day to keep my phosphate right at 0.03. And once I did that, I saw my nitrates start dropping like a rock. I saw my nitrates start dropping around 3 days after I started dosing Brightwell's Neophos, which is just an artificial phosphate supplement. Yep. So, yep. And funny enough, I couldn't find Brightwell's Neophos in LFS stores. I had to buy it on Amazon. So if you're not finding it locally, try there. And their dosing instructions suck. So I started off at about 1 mil just to see what it did. Tested after a couple hours. One thing notice, I did not use the HANA checker for my testing. I did it all manually using the Red Sea, and I would back up that test with an API. I mean, that's all I had available, but did the job. As long as the numbers were within, you know, a few parts per million of each other, I just went with that reading. I mean, and yeah, did really well for me. Ultimately, though, like I said, if this tank was looking great with no phosphates and no nitrates, that's where I would leave it. I wouldn't try to add it. Chasing numbers gets you into trouble. Learned that the hard way. Learned that trying to mimic what I've seen other reefers do. You know, I would look at a tank of the month and try to do what they did. You know, if they said they ran 20, I would try to run 20. Didn't work out well for me. Never worked out well for me. Just end up having. What did they say? Got an put it back up. Got an Antheus commercial on your latest video. Does Google know something? I got an arthritis commercial on my latest video. On my video? I don't even think
Dave.
Oh, Dave. Okay. But I don't even think I can monetize videos yet. All right, hold this. Let me switch it around. Best part of this grill is cleanup, guys. Clean up, scrape it down.
I'm a good cameraman.
Horrible commentator, because it says the off-price video did come up in Tristan's video.
No, it said Dave.
Oh, it came up in my video?
No,
Yeah.
Mike is messing with you. Look, it says at Dave.
Oh, I'm about to say I can't.
Dot,
I can't
dot,
advertise
dot.
videos. I'm like, who the hell's advertising on my videos? I want my 50 cents or 3 cents or whatever.
You ever watch Kill Bill?
That's when, yeah, I remember.
one- the
She
one-
got the orange
She
suit.
did the punch on him. And he couldn't move. Could take 3 steps or something like that.
Isn't that the 5 things of death or something like that?
Yeah.
You brought that out of nowhere.
I just thought about it. When you flicked me, like, oh, I can only take 2 steps now. And it totally explodes.
Wait, it explodes?
I think that's what it was.
This is done. Alright, are you done with the mess?
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
I'll get you. We sleep in the garage.
Alright, let's go over to the tank so you guys can ask me questions about the tank. But first, get the grill on the inside of the garage and lock it down. Alright.
I switched it to this. So
Okay.
over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should be in your room, I think. I'm pretty sure it's in your room. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's, someone said, dude, you told me it went Smurf on us. Because it was looking blue.
There you go.
Now it's better?
Yeah, hold it.
Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Bubba said tank is looking great. Sorry, Jeff.
Hey, run upstairs and grab my look, my holder,
Oh,
the thing.
alright, I know what you're talking
Yeah, it's just 2 months, guys. 2 months that the tank. Don't worry, sorry for the shaky cam. We're getting a tripod in a few seconds so that you guys can see something that doesn't shake like an elderly gentleman with Alzheimer's. Awoken, you can get that grill at Walmart. Yeah, 2 months. So here's the thing. It's 2 months, yeah, but it's not really 15 years of experience. I want to say the first 10 years was me just learning stuff and failing horribly. My first tanks did not do very well. They took months. I used tap water. I refused to buy a decent skimmer. I don't know. I just did everything as cheap as possible to try and achieve some successes on top of the CPU tower. And it didn't really work out well for me. What did actually work out well for me was keeping it simple. I started with just having a skimmer, live rock, and softies. And then once I felt that I could keep softies alive, I tried my hand at some SPS. And then once I felt that I was okay with SPS, I tried a more expensive SPS. And when I had enough SPS growing, I started selling them just so I can upgrade equipment. Every dime, every profit I made off of selling an SPS, I turned it into some equipment that I wanted.
There you go.
All right, let me see if I can put this in here so that it doesn't jiggle around like crazy. Hopefully it's charged. Oh, it suck if it wasn't. It's definitely not charged. At least not charged enough to hold this guy up. Oh, it's trying so hard. This is what happens when you get a big old fat phone. All right, I'm gonna have to jury rig it. Let's see what we can do here. It may be inappropriate, but it worked, especially when you're too broke to buy an RODI unit. Or you're too cheap to buy water at your LFS. Both of those things makes it almost appropriate. Oh yeah, Big Mike is crying over there because he wants something that somebody's not giving him. Look at these guys. Oh yeah, jumping out of the water, aren't you? Savages. All of you guys are savages. Yeah, the no canopy look was Chris, bring my vape in the garage. It's on the beer. The no canopy look was actually something I debated a lot on. And the reason I debated a lot on it was light spill. See, when I'm using the Radions, as you guys can see, there's not as much light spill as when I'm using the T5s. When I turn on the T5s, I get a good amount of light spill. And at first I thought it would really bother me, but I don't know. I couldn't get away from the no canopy look. It just looked really sleek, and I kind of liked it. So I figured, you know what? I'll just leave it alone and see what happens. Ground bees. Wow, Tina, that sucks.
Here you go.
Gracias. You see? The boy knows.
We'll put this. Pepper jack. One of us know what you want.
Purple jack is fine.
Daddy said pepper jack's fine.
All right. The diffusers. Great question, Reef Keeper. All right, guys. So here's the funny thing about these diffusers. They're really cheap. And for what you pay for them, I really think you could probably DIY something. Now, is it easy to install? Absolutely. Does it give you a great reason to open up your radions and clean out the fans? That it does. Does the spread increase? Yes. Now, ordinarily, people would say that you gotta have about 5 radions on a 350. And my tank is 96 inches long, it's 30 inches wide, and 27 inches high. So they would say that you need 5 or 6 of these guys to get the spread you want. I'm getting this spread with just 4. And the thing about it is that even with those 4, I'm actually lighting quite a bit of the tank. And I added the T5s before I actually tried them out with the diffusers. Part of me feels that maybe I didn't need the T5s. Part of me is kind of glad that I have them because without the T5s, I would have had to hang these up a little bit higher and run them higher. And also, the T5s would be less effective any higher than 10 inches, you know? So this is up 10 inches right now. The Radions are off the water 10 inches. They're running at 50%, and the T5s are on for about 6 hours. They turn on around 9. They turn off shortly after lunch. And then it's just Radions for the rest of the day because I like to view the tank at that part of the day. So that's why it's kind of this color right now because I like the fluorescence. For T5s, I'm using ATI Blue Plus and 1 Purple Plus. And I'm thinking about actually swapping that Purple Plus out for a True Actinic just to try it out. So, yeah, I'll try to figure it out, see what happens. Hey, Lisa's Aquatics, what's up? I can say Reef Keeper with the diffusers. The shimmer is more like metal halides, and it's not as harsh. And the mixture, very very good, very blanket, not not rough, not. I don't see any LED mixing or like any LED separation on the sand bed, and coverage to me is pretty good. I also use it on my frag tank, so I have one XR15 over a 24 by 24 frag tank, and a sneak peek of a video that's coming up soon. New sump for the frag system, new skimmer, and new lighting. So that's going to be coming up soon. Actually, I have a question for you guys. How big do you think I need to go for a softy tank? Now, mind you, I have 350 gallons here, plus a 93-gallon sump. So that's a lot of water. How big do I need to go for a softy? I'm of the opinion 75 gallons or so is good for a softy tank. You can keep a good variety in there. I've been told 40 gallons is pretty good because you guys know I love my A-cans. And I definitely want to keep them. Not leathers. I'm talking about A-can, LPS. Softy may be the wrong word. So I'm talking about A-cans, Scolies, let's see, A-cans, Scolies, elegance, bounce mushrooms, stuff like that. I'm gonna keep these guys in here. I'm gonna keep what do you call them again? Zoos. I'm gonna keep zoos in this tank because they do good with low flow, high flow, pretty much any flow they'll be fine with. But my A-cans, I definitely want to move them out. And I am lighting my softy tank with T5s with LED actinic supplementation. LEDs are just going to be for show, not for grow. I don't want any of my A-cans to, switch colors or whatever. But yeah. So I'm thinking about 75 gallons. Stuff like Dunkin's, Euphilia, stuff that I can kind of frag if they get too big. I see fingerprints, which means that Tiki Badasserman has been here and touching my glass. I hate fingerprints. But yeah, stuff like echidnas, Welso, whatever that is back there. I don't know what that is. Looks like a lobo of some type. Yeah, stuff like that. Shrooms. Just kind of curious what size tank you guys would think would be appropriate. I'm thinking about 40 to 75 gallons. More on the 40-gallon side. Because what I'm planning to do is, see this tank? This is a frag test system. New tank is going to go right here, plumb through the wall into that sump. So I'll be able to use one sump for both systems. Frag system will benefit from having softies in there, keeping nutrients down, fish making waste. But yeah, that's at least the plan. It's doing good with the flow. I think I'll probably leave it because, this guy in a 40-gallon, might cause trouble. Here, he kind of has space. I don't have any wrenches. Let's see, how do you make a wrench? Let's see, who do I want to be a wrench? Let's go. Let's see, Lisa. Yeah, make her a moderator. Awoken? Absolutely. moderator. Let's see. Tina D promised to wield your moderator powers. Well, let's see who's in there. Yeah, Dave's Nano, naturally. All right, now I have moderators. Yeah, SC, of course. Add moderator. All right, there we go. Absolutely, guys. I see you guys around enough times to know that you know what you're doing. Yeah, so you guys can keep all the crazies out, right? That's the plan. So any questions for my sump? There's a lot of people asking questions in the comments. I figure, okay, somebody wants to know about the magnets. All right, here we go. So this, let me turn on this light here so you guys can see what's going on here. So this is my cabinetry. This controls everything that I need to, switches, plugs, or whatever. Just an Amazon Fire HD, hangs out there. This is an acrylic glass door, and these are two EB832s. That top one is running a lot of lighting stuff. The bottom one is running some pump stuff. And this is my at a glance of what's going on and if I need to access the brain. All of the wires are run in the back, right down there into this back. This back has a false wall. So that board is actually off the wall about 5 inches. So all of my power supplies and stuff are mounted against that back wall. These side panels here are joined together. So basically with undoing 2 bolts on the inside, I can take this side panel off, slide it away from the tank, and gain access to that side 100%. These doors are held on with magnets. So I got one magnet here at the top, one magnet there at the bottom, the receivers for the magnets, and they're pretty tight. Plywood. Each of the panels are actually plywood that's been, kills or primered about 7 times, and then had a a latex oil-based paint put on it. And that pretty much makes this pretty hard to, yes, Mike? All right. Well, that was Mike. He made an appearance. He figured that I was doing something bad, and he wanted to make sure that I wasn't. Mike, we good? Are we good? Yeah? No leaks. All right. All right. No more baby shark. All right, Mike? All right. It's not a leak. I'm just showing off for the internet. We good? All right. All right. Sorry, guys. I had to make sure Mike didn't have a problem. So all of that stuff comes down to all of the equipment in the back. Of course, phytoculture here. I'm getting something cool from Poseidon. Can't tell you what it is yet, but it is cool, and you guys are gonna like it for sure. If you like the phytoculture series, you're gonna like what I'm getting from Poseidon. So you guys hang out for that. So yep, yeah, Reef Keeper, definitely recommend it. So that's my piping down there. So I am running filter socks. Why? Because I like to mix up my sand bed and do all kind of crazy stuff. And those there are the Max Spec Nanotech Biospheres. Highly recommend them. Over the Marine Pure. They don't break apart. They're roughly double the filtration area, and I'm going to be running the frag tank exclusively all off of those guys. There's not going to be any rock in my frag tank. It's going to be all ceramic media. All right, so here we are. Let me turn on this because it's something cool. You guys might know what it is. I don't know what it is. Final lights. Turn on. Mangrove. Here we go. Mangrove. Any questions in there real quick? Yep, here we go. So, mangroves are doing well. Of course, I have a couple of dead leaves I got to pull off. But other than that, they're okay. Now, I did run into the same problem that Daily Reefing had. I ordered from the exact same person that he did. And I also kind of just tossed mine directly into the water here. But I did have them in a brackish water for about 2 or 3 days while I set up and videoed everything. I think that's probably what made mine survive. But they're not like in the best shape. So as soon as the storm is over, I'm going to be grabbing another set of these guys. They're really cheap, about 30 bucks for 10 or 12 of them. And I'm going to do the acclimation and replant them in there. These guys I'm going to plant outside in pots and just have them for fun. So they're not going to go to waste. So check out this sponge. That is a huge ball of sponge. Fluffs up. It loves Fido. And I got it at my LFS for 30 bucks. That huge thing right there. And I'm wondering if I can frag it. I don't know if anybody's ever fragged a sponge before. Somebody can maybe chime in the chat and say, hey, yeah, you can frag a sponge. But I also don't know if I can put that in my display, right? So I've never put a sponge into my display. I'm curious if you can, and who's gonna eat it? That's my concern. I don't want any of my fish to eat it because it's so pretty. And it is bright red. Even without any light, this is just running on regular white light, regular Kessel A80. I could turn it to blue, but it doesn't really change the color of the sponge much. See, that's blue. It kind of just washes it out. It actually looks brighter in the white light. Actually, let me see. Check out this thing here. Yeah, that's kind of blue. Let's see, right there. Yeah. So yeah, I really like it. It's really attractive, and I know they have blue ones like this. I want to get some blue ones. I kind of want to put a whole bunch of sponges in there. Yeah, definitely want to get the blue. It seems to be the perfect environment for these guys. They do really well in here, so I'm really happy about that. Skimmer, just chugging along, doing its skimming thing. Calcium reactor over there. Let's get that off. All right. So calcium reactor set up right here. Pretty quiet. Leak detector. Yeah, well, you know, we all know why I have a leak detector there. Baby shark. Carbon doser right here, doing this little dosing thing. So I'm running my pH inside of that carbon reactor at about 6.9 right now. Gonna run it there for 2 or 3 days, see how things do before continuing. ATO box, I got about a week and a half out of that, which is pretty good. I used to get 2 weeks, but adding a fan in here to help cool down the system, keep it right around 78 to 80, that increased my evaporation down here. So I had to make sure that I top this guy off, but I like that because it forces me to come under here every week and a half to make sure everything is running well. Last but not least, the other utility box. Now this is the main utility box. This contains the most controllers, skimmer pump, carbon doser stuff, ATO, my gyres, my fluid monitoring stuff for leak detection and all that stuff. So yeah, so this is the main box over here. It does pretty cool. If you guys didn't know, those new EB832s, they actually have a little fan inside of them. Kind of freak you out the first time they turn on, because one of them was a little loud, but it stopped being loud once it quieted down. Oh, somebody had emailed me, asked me what I'm feeding my calcium reactor with. Aqualifter. Aqualifter with Aqualifter pre-filter. So the only thing that can clog my calcium reactor is calcium. And because I have that guy running at a full-on drip, not a drip, it's a full stream I'm running in there, it doesn't, very, very reduced chance of clogging. I am running Reborn magnesium media at the top, and the rest of this is the ARM extra coarse media. Less chance of clogging, pretty simple. I'm guessing that by the time I'm through with this, my SPS will have grown and I'll need a quicker dose of calcium or more calcium being delivered at any given time. So I'll switch to the smaller media, which will melt faster but deliver more calcium. At least that's the plan. Let's see if I remember in a year. But that's it. That's everything that runs this guy. Pretty straightforward. I don't think I have anything spectacular or unique. Woken, I do run Cheeto. So let me show you that real quick. I have to turn it on. So on the walls there are a lot of pods, but that be my Cheeto ball, my ball o Cheeto. That pump is probably due to die soon because it's really small and really caked up with excess Cheeto. So I should probably clean that eventually, maybe tomorrow. But yep, that's my Cheeto ball. That's the only thing that's in there, Cheeto. I mix it every day. Awoken. But you're right, I need to get a stronger pump in there to get it turning around better. I gotta get a stronger pump in there. SC Reefer actually has his tumbling really well, and as a result, his Cheeto ball grew significantly large to where it stopped tumbling inside of the reactor or in the refugium. But yeah. So turn this back off. Yeah, Reef Keeper, I do the same thing. I kind of make sure that it could rumble around, or I get in there with my little rake. I just jumble it up, cause some trouble down there. So Lisa, it's believed that it grows faster because the Cheeto is exposed to equal amounts of light on all the sides. So it's turning around in a big ball. It's getting light on all the sides instead of just the top or just the bottom. So it it's thought to cause it to grow better because more of it's exposed to light. Yeah, awoken, and I did notice that with my first batch of cheddar that I put in there, it did started to melt or turn white. They wouldn't die, but it wasn't getting bigger. I want that thing to be filled up with cheddar eventually. So yeah, turning it around is probably the best thing for me to do. No, so Lisa, what ends up happening is that it just gets into a very tight, compact ball. Um, if you look at Cheeto, it's kind of like a long string, and you could break it off, and that piece that you break off will keep growing. So basically, when you put it into a big ball, it just keeps making a big ball of string. It's like a ball of yarn. Yeah, it's not like a rough tumble. It's kind of a gentle tumble. So it doesn't really break up. At least not much.
He's posing.
Yes, Mike. Well, he's off to go kill somebody now. But yeah, any more questions from you guys? We got 16 people watching. I don't want you guys to be bored. Didn't think I was gonna go this long. Yep, Reef Keeper. Actually, you know what? I've seen them with thicker strands and thinner strands. SC Reefer had very thin stranded Cheeto. I've noticed that since I started dosing iron, this stuff right here, I've started dosing this a lot. And I dose 2 mils of each part every day. One bottle of this stuff goes a long way for me. And they're about $10 a bottle. I get a couple months out of it. But for the most part, yeah, since I started dosing iron, I've noticed very much better growth in my Cheeto. And, in general, my any macroalgae. It does a great job for me. I don't think I can attribute it to just iron because I do feed pretty heavily. I feed 3-4 times a day maybe. And it does make for some good growth. Yep. Which wires are bothering you? The other thing you put a canopy on, those wires bothering you. Alright. So the wires. Those wires. They bother me as well, guys. They do. But I have a plan. And the reason I have not bundled those wires up together yet, I have a lot of slack back there. I haven't bundled them up yet because I'm constantly moving the radions around, trying to adjust and see where my lights are landing, who's happy, who's not. And I haven't done a par reading yet on this tank, guys. So I don't want to bundle those wires up until I do a par reading to know where I need to get the most even coverage. But ultimately, all of these wires, so for this fixture, those wires will all be run right along the back where you can't see them to one channel down. And same thing with those guys, one channel down. They're temporary. But they do bother me too. I hate looking at it because I'm like, man. When I only ran radions on the bar, they all ran to one side, and there was like one bundle of wires that went down. It was pretty easy. Fish keeping Jamaica, what's going on? Oh man, stay safe, dude. Florence is just, I think, about finished moving through here, you know, getting rid of her. Looking forward to getting rid of her. She was nothing but trouble. At least for some of our friends down south and near the shore. Yeah, they are, Reef Keeper, but my beautiful wife has already placed burgers and sausages for me in the oven where they will stay warm and ready for me to go and eat. Which I think I'm going to do now because I'm hungry and my beer, where is it? Yes, my beer is not cold anymore, so I need to down this soldier and go chow down. So, thank you guys all 19, 20 of you for joining the live stream today. First time really doing this solo dolo. Hope you got some good information. If you guys liked it, I'll keep doing it. Do another one, another day, maybe set something up. But yeah, happy Sunday. Enjoy your weekends. If you were in Hurricane Flo's path, I hope that you're safe and sound and your tanks are doing great. But thank you guys. And I'm going to go eat some of these burgers. So, as always, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. And please like and subscribe, right? Is that what you're supposed to say? I don't know. I'm not a YouTuber. Have a good one, kids. Night, folks.